All right, the second Formula E E-Prix event is currently available now. This one, of course, taking place at Berlin, as you can see. Battle of the Battery in Berlin. So let's check this out. So, price, it's more or less same as the last E-Prix event that we had over in New York. Only difference in this case would be the tuning setup that you get from this event is going to be specific, more geared towards Berlin, which emphasizes the speed, top speed, and acceleration. And if you guys recall, for New York, we had a lot more emphasis on grip and braking for that tuning setup. So this is sort of like the opposite type of tuning setup. So nice to have one of each, right? So anyway, price-wise, once again, if you guys need a review here, 250,000 motorsport dollars, and new 2021 season Formula E racer, another car, and 50 gold, as you can see on this splash screen here. And this event, last day to start the event is gonna be 26th of July, Monday. And once you start the event, you will have 5 days to complete it, since it's a 5-stage event. Now, I would say if you can spare maybe hour and a half to run through this event, then it'll be best to do it as soon as you start the event. There is a 3-hour instant service and instant tuning setup offer. So while that offer is going on, it'll be best to kind of run through it. The event itself is pretty short, just like the New York E-Prix. This one, I was able to get it done in under 90 minutes, and then with the remaining time, I was actually able to make some progress in the 2021 season of Formula E in the motorsport section on my other account, by the way. So, yeah. And in terms of the overall race earnings, aside from the 250,000 motorsport dollars that you earn as a bonus, which does not count against your daily cap, from the races themselves, expect to win just around 150 to 160,000. I managed to win somewhere around 157,000. So that got me, more than halfway through the meeting today's cap, and then I only needed to earn basically 100,000 more, actually more like 90,000 more, which only took a couple of tiers of races in Formula E, the 2021 season. So, yeah, that's, I think, the best use of that 3-hour instant service offer. So, and in terms of fame points, you should be winning somewhere around 8,500 fame points, because obviously that varies depending on how you race, and that's not separate from driver XP. In terms of driver XP, I was able to get just over 6,400 driver XP. So I didn't use or convert any of that to level up. But if the driver level XP takes to level up, that should get me up to about level 3. But because I haven't put any gold, invested any gold on my Formula E event, I couldn't confirm it, but I'm just going based on last season's numbers. And so yeah, so 6400, 6500 driver XP will get you up to about level 3. And then let's see, gold wise, the 50 gold total. So to meet the PR requirement, I think the cheapest way to get it is just go with the motorsport dollars. And for meeting the PR requirement in this instance, now just like the New York E-Prix, we got 3 tiers of base PR cars, right? The top tier, mid tier, bottom tier. And so top tier cars, which includes right here, let's check it. So top tier cars, we got the Nissan and Mercedes and the Cheetah, DST Cheetah, right? Those 3 teams, base PR is 56. So in that case, to complete the whole event and win the car, your PR requirement will be 64.1. And to reach that PR requirement, well, I mean, your upgrade scheme and the cost is going to be equal throughout every team, because the PR requirement adjusts depending on the team that you pick, just like the New York E-Prix. So yeah, so that's basically, if you pick the top tier team, your final PR requirement will be 64.1. If you pick the mid tier team, such as Porsche or Jaguar or Envision, Virgin, or BMW or Audi, those 5 teams, of course, those teams' base PR starts at 55.9, so 0.1 PR point lower than the top tier team, so your PR requirement will adjust accordingly. So those teams, you need PR 64 to 100% complete, and then remaining 4 teams, such as Rocket Venturi, Neo 333, Mahindra, and Dragon Penske. These teams, the base PR is 55.8, so your PR requirement for this event will be 63.9. And to meet that PR requirement, basically you have to get every tuning setup available for this event, all 28 of them. So that will cost you some 2,606,200 motorsport dollars. So yeah, so with the race earnings and whatnot, basically you will be recouping about 400,000 of it back. So your net cost would come around just under 2.2 million motorsport dollars. And yeah, so, and if you don't have any motorsport dollars in your bank, then I suppose you can get started, but you better start farming right away. But you would have to wait till the very last day of the event, basically the 26th of July, to start the event. So that way you can maximize the number of days that you can farm those 250,000 motorsport dollars per day, because you're going to need about 10 days to farm enough if you're starting from zero, basically, motorsport dollars. So otherwise, you would have to basically convert your team principal XP and driver XP to gold, with gold, to level those up, so you can boost your PR that way as well. But you know what I say, gold is still the king currency in this game. So if you can spare gold and make progress in the game, that's always best way to go about it. Now, on this account, I won Rocket Venturi. That's the card that I used, or the team that I used for New York E-Prix. So for this time around, I'll probably pick a different team. Well, for this video, yeah, DS to Cheetah. That's the top tier team, and it looks pretty sharp, gold and black, nice combo. So I'll pick it here so we can see the tuning setup and whatnot, and I'll make a separate series of videos for actual playthrough of the event. And I do have another video comparing this season's Formula E cars. So if you guys haven't checked that out, I'll put the link to that video in the description box below. But anyway, the tuning setup for Berlin E-Prix Motorsport special event requires a tuning setup for their unique race conditions, right? A setup that focuses more on top speed and acceleration to meet the most of the Berlin circuit's wider track. Right. In other words, I believe it's easier circuit than New York. Or Hong Kong for that matter. Although we haven't really raced at Hong Kong in a while, I feel like. So complete Formula E 2021 Berlin E-Prix 5-day special event. There you go. For your chance to earn your choice of a 2021 Season 7 Formula E car and the Formula E 2021 Berlin E-Prix tuning setup. Right, so as we talked about it, those are 2 non-currency rewards, of course. And then your currency rewards are 50 gold and 250,000 motorsport dollars. All right. And oh yeah, this event slightly different. So stage 1, we actually have 4 goals, not 3. So in terms of goals wise, we start with 4 goals in stage 1 in New York. Now the last goal of stage 1, skipping cost is 5 gold. I mean, you should not skip any of these. They're pretty easy events. I mean, first stage, right? So there's absolutely no reason to skip. And even if you don't like Formula E cars, really don't care to win one, I would still encourage you guys, if you don't want to run through all 5 stages to win the car and 50 gold, or you never bother with the motorsport dollars farming, so you don't have much and you don't care to farm, then I would still say run through stage 1, 4 goals, super quick, very easy, and you will pick up 5 gold. So there you go. And stage 1 does not have any PR requirement. That's why you can do it. Right. And the stage 2, from first goal, they put on PR requirement. So stage 2 starts with a PR requirement of 56 for top tier cars. So it's basically range goes from 55.8 through 56 for tier stage 2, goals 1 through 3. And the final goal of stage 2 is where you get the PR requirement bump up to 57.8 through 58, depending on the team, once again, right? And that PR requirement will carry you through the third goal up stage 3, and on the final goal up stage 3, you get the next PR requirement bump, which goes up to basically 59.8 through 60. That's going to be the range to get past stage 3, and that'll get you through third goal up stage 4, and that's for in order to complete the stage 4. Of course, you get another PR requirement bump, and the final goal brings you up to 62.1 through 62.3, and that gets you through the first 3 goals of the final stage, stage 5. And as it is often the case in these special events, the final 2 goals, because stage 5 does have 5 goals extra added on the final goal, you get the final PR requirement, which, as I said earlier, is going to be from the 63.9 through 64.1, depending on the car of your choice. And when you check in, as you can see, 3-hour instant R&D on tuning setup and 3-hour instant service available. Right. So, and in terms of stage completion reward, stage 1 pays out, as I said, 5 gold and 25,000 racing motorsport dollars. And the same for stage 2 completion. And then stage 3 and 4, each stage completion pays out 10 gold and 50,000 motorsport dollars. And then final stage 5, pays the remaining 20 gold and 100,000 motorsport dollars. So the biggest prize, as always, is all concentrated in the final stage. So, that I think covers all we need to cover in this video. As I said, the whole event should not take really any longer than about 90 minutes at most. If you guys rush through it, it might take even less time. I want to say towards the later stages, there are some little tricky goals that took me a couple of extra tries, where they ask you to make a outside pass only, or there's another goal where they ask you to make an inside pass only, and if you take the wrong side, you get disqualified. So it's not like you can pass one car, inside or outside. You have to do exactly what they tell you. So those are some challenges that took me a couple of extra tries, just simply because, well, I guess I didn't quite understand the instruction accurately. And, these Formula E circuits, there are a lot of sharp corners that happen back to back, right? So, if you try to overtake somebody on the outside in one corner, and if you miss it in that corner, next one you're going to be on the inside typically. So you just have to make sure you are decisive with your overtaking in those later goals. And of course, because it's Formula E, there's battery management that you got to keep track of. But for the most part, battery, you really, at least I never really ran out of battery. Maybe a couple of goals I did manage to run out the batteries. In fact, there's one goal. Your job is to run the battery out. I think that's the last challenge of the stage 1, where they want you to run out of battery. So aside from some of those goals, it's they give you plenty of battery to work with. So I don't think you need to be terribly conservative or too concerned about powering up. So anyway, that will do it for this series overview, and then we'll have the playthrough of the series coming up in the next following few days. So stay tuned for those. But for now, that'll do it for this video. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.